Good afternoon, boys and girls.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Carlson.
Okay, today we're going to do a nice little science lesson in our science book. Hopefully you're all turned to page 18 right at this very moment. Looks like everybody's ready to go. Okay. First thing we're going to do today is we are going to rate ourselves on our learning ball. So everybody put your head down, please. Our learning goal today. I can explain that the sun gives us energy. Raise your hand if you're a novice. If you're a beginner, if this is a new skill for you. Raise your hand if you're an apprentice. I'm starting to understand this new skill, although I still need some help. Okay, hands down. Raise your hand if you're a practitioner. I understand this skill, but sometimes I get stuck and I need help. All right, and raise your hand if you're an expert, that you can get right up here and teach this yourself. All right, hands down, heads up. Very good. Okay. We're going to make a connection today about sports and energy. But first thing we need to do is talk about what we know about the sun and how it gives us energy and what kind of energy it gives us. What do we know about the sun? What do we know about the sun? Mara, what do we know about the sun?
The sun is a big ball of gas that has a whole lot of energy that shines down on us during the day but not at night. On the other side of the earth, it's day.
Very good information. Yeah, let's see, what else do we know about the sun? Jackson.
That it is one of our stars, but it looks bigger because it's closer to us.
Oh, very good.
And it has a lot of energy on it, which makes it hot.
Excellent. What else do we know about the sun, Quentin?
That it has a bunch of light.
Okay, just have a bunch of light. We know a lot about the sun. What else do we know about the sun, Jocelyn?
That the sun can reflect in a lot of things.
It can reflect a lot of things into a lot of things?
Yeah.
Yes, it can reflect into a lot of things. One more. Jeffrey, can you add to
The sun is similar to other stars.
okay, how is it similar to other stars?
Because other stars are bright like our sun.
Okay, very good. Is there anything different that anybody would like to add? Ooh, we still have a lot of hands up. Okay, I'm going to pick one more stick, okay? Suhan.
It heats up our the whole entire world.
It heats up our whole entire world, our whole earth. Good. Very good. You guys really know a lot about the sun. Give yourself a pat on the back. All right.
On my shoulder.
All right. Here's one thing I didn't hear anybody mention. How fast does light travel? Oh, I see hands are going back up again. Okay. How long does it take the light from the sun to reach the earth? A lot of hands, a lot of hands. This is great. Good deal. All right, let's see. Zach.
Exactly 8 minutes.
Exactly 8 minutes to reach the earth. Excellent. Excellent. Do you know that if we had to drive a car from the sun to the earth, it would take 177 years. How would you feel about driving your car for 177 years? How would you feel about that, Daniel? Would you be able to drive your car for 177 years?
No.
No.
Unless there was a gas station.
A
We
gas
would be
station.
floating anyway.
We would be floating?
and we couldn't like.
Oh, you're okay. All right. So we actually, you guys really know a lot about the sun. It's awesome. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and read our sports connection paragraph. And while we're reading this, we're also going to be checking for the main idea and key details. Who would like to remind us what a main idea is? Give me a hand. I see 1 hand, 2 hands, 3 hands, 4 hands, 5, 6. I guess I better go back to my sticks. Okay. And I better take that one out because the blade's not here this afternoon.
Yeah.
Oh, Zach again. What's the main idea, bud?
Well,
The big reason, the big definition for a main idea. When we're looking for the main idea, we're looking for, when we're reading a story
important information.
about the whole.
Story.
Yes. Okay, we're looking for exactly what the story's about. Mara, what is it called that we use to back up our main idea? What are those things called that we look for? There's a name. There's 2 words. 2 words. We use this information to back up our main idea. They're called the phone a friend? Okay, quickly, hand up. Phone someone whose hand is up. Ayana? Sorry? I didn't hear you. Close. You're really close. Jeffrey, what do we use?
Key details.
Key details. Okay, so while we're reading the paragraph, you need to be looking for your main idea and at least 2 key details. So make sure that you have your pencil so you can underline and circle. Okay, I'm going to start reading. You need to have your finger at the beginning of the text. I'm going to be looking for people to read. I'm going to read, and then I'm going to call on people to read. You need to turn around and look at your text. Okay. The sun and its energy. The Olympic Games began more than 2,700 years ago, or 2,700 years ago, in ancient Greece. Ancient, that's one of our vocabulary words. Who can tell me what ancient means? Fair.
Something a long, long time ago.
Very good. The games began with the lighting of the Olympic flame. Jeffrey, please read.
At that time, the flame was lit using the energy of the sun. Today, the tradition of lighting the Olympic torch continues.
Okay. Daniel. Quentin.
A special meal lights the flame by reflecting the sun's rays. The meal aims the sun's rays to a single point.
Bear.
This makes the rays very intense and hot.
Jocelyn.
Once the torch is lit,
Athletes.
athletes then carry the torch to the host station. The torch stays lit as athletes pass the flame along. Sometimes the torch travels all the way around the world.
Okay. What did we just read? What is the main idea, Aaliyah?
How to light up a torch.
Okay. What key details about lighting the Olympic flame torch? I need 2 key details. So one person One key detail, one person, second key detail. Aaliyah, but I just called on you, so I'm going to call somebody else, okay? Okay. Ryder, do you have a key detail that tells us how the Olympic torch or flame was lit? By a special mirror, that's right. Who can find another key detail that helps us know that about the Olympic torch? Let's see, I better pick my stick. Bella.
A special mirror lights the flame by reflecting the sun's rays.
Very good. A special mirror lights a flame by reflecting the sun's mirror. Okay. Let's see, we got that. Okay. Now, the Olympic torch was lit by using the sun and directed in a special direction into the torch. So right now, we're going to demonstrate how the sun is going to be redirected. I'm going to use a flashlight and a mirror and a magnifying glass to show you how the light from the sun was redirected and reflected using mirrors, special mirrors, to light the Olympic torch. Okay? So if you're let's see, our short guys, girls and guys come around here first, and the taller kids make a nice shape around the back. Okay. Alright, I'm going to use our sticks, alright, our name sticks, okay? You can show a lot of different ways to do things with whatever you have in your, okay, back up just a little bit. Alright, so the first redirection we're going to do, okay, here's the sun. Alright, when you see it, so look far away. Look at when it gets closer. Can you see that? Okay, look how bright it is closer. And our sun's actually further away, isn't it? Okay, so now we're going to make that light get stronger and closer to us by using a mirror first. Okay, so here's our sun, here's our mirror. Okay, so the hottest time of the day is usually around noon. The sun is usually pretty high in the sky, kind of straight up, isn't it? Okay, so we'll pretend that it's noon, and we're going to move our mirror around till we can redirect the light. You start seeing it? You see the reflection?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can do that with my water.
Now, we would be able to, if we're lighting the Olympic flame, of course we have special mirrors. We don't have a tiny little makeup mirror. But they have special mirrors and they can move the light around. Can you see how it's moving? All right, let's say it's 3 o'clock. So we're going to move the sun a little bit. Maybe that'll be easier if the sun's at 3 o'clock. There's the sun at 3 o'clock.
There it is.
Hitting the mirror. Oh, you can see the reflection. Okay, so there it goes. All right, so now we're going to hold the sun's light, the energy, the radiant energy from the sun that's creating heat. We're going to hold it on that pile of sticks, and if we had the special mirrors that they had at the Olympics, that pile of sticks would eventually catch on fire. Okay?
Must be thin that it's fire.
All right. Okay, so you see how that works?
Yeah.
They have the special mirrors, and they're redirecting the light to create a more pinpointed heat. All right? Now, I'm also going to show you with a magnifying glass, because a magnifying glass is in itself a special mirror. Remember how we used these the other day when we were looking at our text? We were talking about telescopes and how when we looked at the text in our book, it got bigger and smaller and bigger and smaller. So we're going to use this special mirror. Can you see? Okay. To pinpoint the light. Can you see? Okay. All right. So we're going to look at this one works a lot better. So we're going to move it. We're going to move we're moving the magnifying glass so that we're going to, there we go. So now we're pinpointing, this one's even better than the regular mirror.
That looks
So this magnifying glass actually pinpoints the radiant energy better than the mirror. But I wanted to show you both because the Olympic Games 2,700 years ago, they had special mirrors. There, look at that. Ooh.
Look at it, it's so tiny.
So if we move the position of the magnifying glass, what happens?
Get the
Smaller or bigger? So if it's closer, do you think it's going to be hotter or colder? You think the smaller? Okay. Okay. So the closer it gets, the smaller the circle of light is going to be hotter. And further away, it's going to be
colder.
okay. All right. Any questions? Oh, question. Hopefully I can answer. What do you got, Penny?
I was wondering how it could make that kind of shape.
Well, it's just something to do with the way the magnifying glass is.
Can you through it?
Through the small one? Okay.
Look.
There's the smaller. Ooh. Look at how different that one is.
That's
Okay.
cool.
One more question. Jackson.
If you could do it like, what if you put the light and the magnifying closer up?
Well,
Would
can
just
we bring the sun closer to us?
Yeah.
We're pretending that this is the sun
But for the natural.
for real.
But for natural heat, would it still like catch it on fire?
Yeah, you can actually do this. Are you a Cub Scout?
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
And you too? Okay.
Me,
All right. So actually, some of you Cub Scouts might be learning how to start a fire.
We already did last camp out. We learned how to do it with flint and steel.
Yeah, everyone got to.
Steel?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's another way that you can. That's another way that you can start a fire with flint and steel. How else could you light a fire without matches, without a lighter?
Oh, I know.
Bella.
A mirror and oxygen.
Oxygen? How would you
But what
use
if
the
you don't have
oxygen?
any of those?
You take a knife or a mirror and take a knife and then you scrape it on like something and then I don't know what it's called, but you scrape it on and then you get a fire and then oxygen helps it.
Excellent. I love the way that you included that we need oxygen to have a fire because fire cannot breathe. It needs to breathe. That's why it needs oxygen. Bear.
You take 2 sticks and you rub them together.
Yep. That's right. You can do it. It takes a long time though, doesn't it? Okay. All right. Hands
You
down.
could just take a knife. You could just take a
Yeah,
knife.
You can take
That's
a knife.
what
Okay.
I was saying.
That's what you were saying. Yep.
We
Okay.
gotta use
take
a
a knife,
pocket
a
knife.
rock.
Okay.
can take a
Macaroni and
knife.
cheese. Everybody
Everybody
freeze. All right. That's the end of our demonstration. I have what I want you to do is when you're gonna go back to your desk. I'm gonna pass out a piece of paper, and I'm gonna give you a question to answer. And while you're answering the question, and you're gonna be drawing a diagram, I'm gonna come around to each group and show you the demonstration up close and personal. Okay? All right. So. Quietly go back to your desk. I'm going to write the question on the board and get the paper passed out.
If you want to make a fire, you can take 2 rocks and you big them together.
Oh, you can.
And if you have no a rock and stick
This
it.
hat. You pass out this hat or pass out that hat.
No, you don't have like milk.
Also,
here's the question that this is what you're going to do while I come around. Here are your directions. Hands and eyes.
Hands and eyes.
Ready?
Yes.
You are going to draw a diagram of the rays of reflected light. What's a diagram? Jackson.
It's kind of like a model of what you're trying to do.
A model or a picture. So you're going to draw a diagram. You each have half a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be big. You also need to explain. And what does explain mean, Jocelyn? Tell me why on how the piece of the light, how when it was redirected, it would get hot enough to start a fire. Okay? So I would like at least 2 sentences. So number 1, a diagram of what you just saw of the reflecting light, and how does that redirected, reflected light get hot enough to start a fire? Questions? Okay, put your name on your paper. Because we're going to do something different on the back. I will be collecting these. So we're going to be doing 2 things with this piece of paper.
Okay.
First thing you're going to do is answer the question, how, why. You're going to draw your picture, diagram. And then you're going to say how, why. I've said that like 6 times. Okay. The light gets hot enough to start a fire. Okay. All right. So you may begin. I'm going to come around to each group and give you a personal demonstration. We're just going to do this for like 5 minutes. It's going to be very quick. Okay? You may begin. Question, Bella?
When we write our diagram, our sentences to explain, what does it personally have to be about?
It has to be about how does the light get hot enough to start a fire? When we're looking at the light and it's the mirror and the magnifying glass and the direction and the reflection, we need to talk about that in our sentence. Okay? All right. Girls? Question, Holly?
So what you wrote on the board, like something with.
No, you don't have to rewrite this. No, you're just going to answer the question. That's it. You don't have to rewrite it. You're going to say, fire can start by, okay? But you and Mara are going to see your personal demonstration right now. Okay? Ready? Okay. Come here. Here's your personal demonstration. Okay, here's the sun. You want to try it? You want to hold this? You want to be the sun? Okay. All right, sun. Okay, see if you can redirect the light to start a fire. Okay? You see how if you move the magnifying glass around, you can redirect the radiant energy from the sun? The sun's not going to get closer, but this can get closer, can get farther away. I guess if you're out in the woods, how would you get closer to the sun? If you were, let's say you were out in the woods and you wanted to start a fire, how could you get closer to the sun? What is in the woods?
Sticks.
And how could you get closer to the sun? What else is in the woods?
There's rocks and sticks.
And how about a tree?
So it's trees.
If you climbed a tree and you got to the top and you held your magnifying glass up there, would you be closer to the sun?
Yeah.
Okay, that would change the direction, wouldn't it?
Okay.
All right.
We can take turns.
Okay, here's my stick. You get to be the sun. You get to be the mirror. You can try it. See if you can redirect the mirror. Where does the light need to reflect?
On the mirror?
Okay, and where do we need to make the reflection go? Back to the sky? Which direction do we want this to point so we can start a fire?
This one.
Okay, so what do you need to do to the mirror? You need to move the mirror so that it will reflect the light from the sun. So, here's sun. So see how that is? That's how you have to do. You have to move your mirror to make it go where the sun is. Okay? Whoop. You got it? There it is, right there. Okay, you see it? Alright. Alright, Aaliyah, you can be the sun. Jeffrey, you can be the magnifying glass.
Can I be the sun?
No, we don't have time for everybody to be the sun.
I thought you said we were 6.
Okay, here's your fire, or your wood, your firewood. Okay. Remember the sun's not moving. You have to move your mirror or your magnifying glass so that you can get the fire redirected and start. And we need a diagram. Remember, a picture. Okay. Alright, Quentin, you want to turn? Okay. What do you want to be, the sun or the magnifying glass? Alright, you get it? You're the sun, you're way up there. Good job. Alright. Alright, continue. Thank you. Alright guys, Zachary, come over here and join this group, please. Alright, here's our fire. Okay, Sarah, you're gonna hold the magnifying glass. Okay, you hold the magnifying glass. You wanna be the sun? You get to be this. Okay, so the sun stays up there, and now you have to hold this, make this move so you can redirect and start a fire. Well, can the sun come closer? He is the one that has. Well, if it's like 6 o'clock, does the sun fall out of the space and come closer to our earth? Does he have to move this? Alright, Zach. You're gonna use the mirror to do a little reflection. You're gonna be the sun. Oh, look at, there it is right there, guys. These guys are doing a great job with the reflecting mirror. You could have worked for the Olympic torch people. Alright, good job. Okay, continue. Okay, you need 2 sentences. We'll try to take some. Oh, Jackson, I put your basket on the floor. Can you pick it up and put it back on your table, please?
This is one of those. If you have an axe with you, you can just put it on the diagram. If you have a hatchet, you can just say one and spark fire.
Hang on to it. We're going to do something else in the back. Oh, that looks good too. Alright, we gotta do one at a time. So let's do there you go. See the reflection right there? Good job. Alright, let's do the magnifying glass now. Really? That's pretty cool. Okay, so what are you gonna do to redirect the light? See what happens? Look, there it is. You need to move this.
Oh,
There, you got it? Do you wanna do it? Ayana, do you wanna? Let's see what time it is. Nope, we're gonna have to wrap it up, okay? Alright, keep writing and do your diagram.
What do you mean by a demonstration?
A demonstration is what I just did. I showed you. I gave you it wasn't a real life draw a picture, diagram.
dry.
Okay. Is it fun? Okay, 2 more minutes to answer your question. Draw your diagram. No, we don't have time for any kind of thing.
Can we draw a flashlight when
Would you want to draw real life like it were the sun? Okay. Okay. Okay, about 30 more seconds. Jocelyn? I can hear you, okay. Oh, nice job, Mark.
Oh,
That's good.
in the wild, what is the sun like?
Well,
The wood?
yeah. You have another Tyler. Oh, Matthew, we're answering a question. We're drawing a diagram of the sun in a reflection, okay? Okay. Sean? I need that. Thank you.
I was going to put it right there.
All right, boys and girls. Looks like everybody's just about done. All right. Hands and eyes. All right. Very, very good. All right. So what did we learn about the sun today? Ooh, look at all those hands. Okay, what did we learn about the sun today? Daniel.
We learned about is how it gives energy off and how to start fires.
Yes. And Mara.
We learned that the sun can have an effect on near and go onto the torch, even if you're standing back a little. Because it reflects. If you have it in the right angle, it will go up and hit the torch.
Okay, she gave us a lot of information. She said that you have to have your mirrors in a special, at a right angle, that reflect correctly from the sun to light the Olympic torch. There.
Yeah. And like when something that is like light, like the sun,
Mm-hmm.
when it gets closer, it's gonna get hot and fire, and until there's only a fire.
You're right. It is good when you pinpoint the energy like we did with the mirrors and the magnifying glass. The radiant energy becomes hotter and it can start a fire. Good job. All right. Flip your paper over. Okay. Now, with all that information we learned about the sun, it can get hot enough to start a fire. In tomorrow's science lesson, we are going to find out just how hot the sun really is. So on the blank side of your paper, I want you to make a prediction about how hot, what temperature do you think the sun is?
100,000.
Go ahead and write down a temperature of how hot you think the sun is.
On a piece of paper that you use.
On the back side. Remember I said we had one side for one question and the other side for the other. So I'm going to collect your paper. Okay, 30 seconds.
I think it's this. I made a prediction.
I count, you listen. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Okay, we are going to rate ourselves on what we learned today. I hope I see. Well, I don't know what I'm going to see, but we'll see what we get. Okay, heads down, eyes are closed. I can't explain. The sun gives energy. I am a novice. I am a beginner. This is new information and I need more help. Raise your hand if you're a novice. Hands down. I'm an apprentice. I'm just starting to understand this new skill. I still need some help. Raise your hand. Raise it high. High, high, high. All right, hands down. All right, I'm a practitioner. I can understand this skill, but sometimes I get stuck and I need some help. Hands down. All right, I'm an expert. I can get up here and teach this skill well to someone else. All right, good job. Hands down, heads up. Pass your paper to one person in your group. Close your science books.
Did you guys hear